You're watching Camilla Ali TV. Okay, guys, so the DIY sweatshirt is back. This time I did a mock neck, kind of similar to the one before. And what you're going to need for this project is two pieces for the front, one for the front, one for the back, excuse me. And you're going to need to cut out two sleeve patterns. There's your first sleeve, and you're going to need another one for the sleeve. Then you're going to need two pieces for the sleeve bands. Then you're going to need one long piece for the band for the bottom of the band of the sweatshirt. And then you're going to need a piece for the turtleneck or mock neck, or however you want to call it. You're going to need a long piece for that. So we're going to assemble now. You're going to face right sides to right sides, and you're going to stitch at the shoulder seams. So straight across the shoulder seam, excuse me. You're going to do a zigzag stitch or use your serger. Okay, I did that. And I do it off camera so the video doesn't have to be extremely long. Now we're going to do the sleeves. Now watch what I'm doing for the sleeves. Okay, so get your pins and you pin the sleeve all the way around till you get to the other end. I'm just showing you how to do it. Okay, now you're just going to stitch that on. Remember, right sides are always facing right sides. Okay, so now that I have my sleeve on, this is what it looks like. Now when I open it up, that's what the sleeve looks like on. Now we didn't sew the sides yet because I'm going to show you what I'm going to do before we start stitching our sides. Now you're going to go grab your wrist cuff and we're going to stitch that on. So take your wrist cuff, you fold it in half, and you're going to stitch that to the bottom portion of the sleeve. Zigzag stitch or your serger. Now I'm going to go do that and then I'll come back. Okay, so now that we have that stitched down, that's what it looks like. I'm just going to cut off the extra fabric. And now what we can do now is sew down that first side. So you go from the arm all the way down to the bottom portion of the sweatshirt. Well, this is what it looks like when I'm done stitching that arm down. And then we're going to go put the band on. Same process as the sleeves. We're going to take the band and go all the way to the other end at the bottom. And you're going to leave that one arm open. We're not going to sew. We only sew down one arm, and then we're going to stitch down the other arm after we put the waistband on. So go to your machine and sew down your waistband. Okay, so now that I'm done stitching down the waistband, it looks like this. Now we're going to stitch down that other arm. Okay, that arm that you left open, and we're just going to stitch that closed. Okay, so now everything is stitched closed. The arms are stitched closed. And now we're just going to work on the turtleneck, mock neck top portion of the sweatshirt. So what I do here is measure all the way around the opening of the sweatshirt. So I take the fabric that I'm going to be using for the turtleneck portion and I fold it and I go all the way around till I get right back to that first beginning seam that I started at. And once I reach that point, I'll mark it with my finger, just kind of eyeball it, and then I'll cut it. Now, when I'm cutting it, I typically leave like a little extra fabric just to make sure that I have an accurate measurement. If it's too much, then I can always take off, but if it's not enough, there's really nothing you could do after that, so you always want to make sure you have enough fabric. So what I do now after I have my measurement is I make sure that it measures, it's correct measurement. And then I cut off the fabric in like a triangular angle. This part, it makes it fit. It's like more fitted. So it won't just be like straight up. It'll have like a fitted, if that makes sense. So that's what I like to do to my bands, like neck bands or waistbands. I typically cut it this way on a little angle, and then I stitch it down. So if you want to do it that way, you just do what I did and then just stitch it like this, and then you'll flip it in like this. Okay, and then once you do that, you'll put that inside of the sweatshirt. Okay, so all you do is find the middle point of the back of the sweatshirt, and you're going to line that up with the seam of that back seam. So you want it to be directly in the middle. So you just line it up, and then you will pin it. I pin it because I want to make sure that it's in the right spot when I'm sewing it. And all you'll just do is just pin the neck all the way around. So once you're done pinning it all the way around, you'll go to your sewing machine and you'll stitch it down, and then you'll be finished. So once I go do that, I'll do that, and then I'll show you guys the final look. So this is the finished sweatshirt. You have your bands that we created from the same sweatshirt fleece fabric. We didn't use rib knit because when I purchase like fabric, especially like notions and stuff like that, I need to actually be physically in a fabric store to make sure that it actually matches the fabric that I have. And because I couldn't do that, I just preferred to use my bands using the same fabric, using the same fabric. So if you have rib knit, you can, definitely use rib knit. I use a yard of fabric. Now, I'm good at stretching fabric. If you're not good at stretching fabric, then I would say get like 2 yards just to be safe, just in case if you make some mistakes. Get 2 yards of fabric. This is 1 yard of fabric. I got all of this out of 1 yard of fabric. I just know how to utilize a yard of fabric. So if you're new to sewing, just get 2 yards. And you just need a sweatshirt for a pattern. Any sweatshirt that you have, I'm sure you own a sweatshirt. It's so easy to use your own clothing as patterns because you could just mimic the cuts and lines that are already there for you. You don't have to try to like make your own pattern. This is, I will say, not a beginner friendly, but kind of intermediate. It's still easy to do if you're a beginner. I use a serger. You can use a sewing machine to make this. It's pretty much straight lines, not a lot of curves, just kind of curved on the shoulders and around the neck. But the way I did it is pretty much easy to kind of like, do it all. I love these. This is what I love about this. I love the neck, the high neck, especially because it's getting colder. So you got to keep your neck covered. I think it came out so cute. What do you think? I think it came out cute. If you have any questions about this video, just leave me a comment down below. I will link the fabric down below where I got it from. And yeah, I'll check you in my next video. Bye. We go hands up. We go hands up.